So good morning, everyone. We're here to talk about what's actually happening with the current market and the situation on ground in Dubai at the moment. I'm Johnny Selva from Quinta Estates, the co-founder, and I've got
Payman Tayebi, Managing Director here at Quinta Estates. And yeah, happy to be here, happy to be in Dubai. It's the 11th of March.
Yep.
And Johnny, I'm excited about your questions and looking forward to tackle them together, to discuss it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And see how we can support investors at home, agents at home, business professionals at home, navigating through these challenging times better.
Absolutely. One of the key questions and the key fundamentals that we're finding at the moment is the uncertainty of what's happening in the market at the moment. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how we're going to tackle this. What's the best course of action and what's the best advice that we can give out to you guys, the listeners, in terms of navigating through the situation that we're in at the moment. So, Payman, the first question is, we're still here in Dubai. Do you feel unsafe?
Not really unsafe, but also let's be transparent. There is a certain feeling in the air, right? Getting these missile alerts, drone alerts, that's not normal.
Absolutely.
We have to be absolutely fair and transparent when it comes to that. And also we have to mention that, of course, business activity declined. A lot of people have left the city, right? Which is completely normal because we are in an extraordinary situation.
This is my personal opinion. We're here on Sheikh Zayed Road. We've got a marvelous office. And yes, I totally agree with you. The market and the sentimental part of the UAE has somewhat got a bit of a fear factor to it at the moment. And that's probably the right word I would use. But however, I've been here for over 14, 15 years, and I've gone through various different markets. And of course, this is something which is very, very different, but I don't feel safe. It's not like I'm not taken care of. The UAE government has really, really pulled their socks up and, giving us the notifications, giving us regular updates, really taking care of us. So I don't feel like I'm not in a safe city. And obviously you don't feel the same either. So I think to the viewers, we want to basically let you guys know from the ground that don't be feared by the current media. The media is just really, really exploding the current situation to something which is what we don't see it as a war zone. These are, in my opinion, I don't think it's a war zone. What do you think?
I don't know. It's definitely not a war zone. Let's be clear about that. But also don't forget, Dubai always had and has, not only Dubai, but the UAE, this mantra is the safest place on the planet, right? You can wear $1 million watch, walk around at night and be safe, just as an example, right? And now, there is this uncertainty that something might happen. It's like, you see Marina 23 in a bag was hit by a drone, right? Luckily, nobody got injured, but it happened. And this is just the feeling that we are, seeing in the city.
It's very unsettling.
Exactly. So going from the safest place to a place where potentially a drone could hit you, that's the bad feeling that we are getting. But yes, the media tends to exaggerate. It's all about getting clicks, right? That's also one point. We are still here, but also we know some colleagues that have left.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Also, let's be transparent about that.
Absolutely.
And in terms of, again, business activity, did it decline? Are there significantly less transactions at the moment? No matter what they are all publishing numbers, 422 million dirham apartment transacted, which, Johnny, we both know that unit transacted actually behind the curtains 2 months ago.
Absolutely.
So the real impact of all of what is happening, we will see in the books in 6 to 8 weeks from now.
Or potentially longer, up to maximum.
I have a great story to tell you. I had a client and we finalized the unit in December. He paid the 24% of the unit in January. And also for the viewers to know, you usually receive your SPA, your sales and purchase agreement, after you have paid the 24% in Dubai real estate. Before that, you only receive a booking form.
Exactly.
So he received his SPA in January after booking the unit in December. 24% January, SPA January. The unit was just registered with Dubai Land Department on the 3rd of March, which was just over a week ago.
Of course.
But that is in the books today.
Yes.
Although the funds have been paid in January.
Essentially, the deal was done in December.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, to the viewers out there, I think this is a really good point, Payman, with what you just said. And I think it's really important for the viewers and the rest of the world to know the actual process of transacting. So you spoke about the off-plan side. Let me explain how the process works on the secondary. We call it secondary market because it's established homes, it's ready
units
to move in, etc. So the actual process is as follows. The buyer seller makes an agreement, and that agreement lasts for a period of maximum 3 months. Now, it can be done within a month. It could go up to, if it's a cash-to-cash purchase, within about 3-4 weeks, you can conclude. By the time we get the contract signed, the NOC, the no obligation certificate from the developer, then getting the funds ready, getting the manager's checks ready. So all of that time process takes up to 3 weeks maximum. It could go up to 4 weeks, but anyway, hey-o. When there's a cash to a mortgage deal, or if there's a mortgage involved, it can take a full 12-week process. So therefore, when a contract has been agreed, let's say in time's sake for January, the actual transaction doesn't really take place till March. So we're looking at, or actually, let me rephrase this, brokers who are so uninformed on the process are pulling out the data from Dubai Rest app and showing, look how many billions has transacted on the 9th or the 10th of March. But ultimately, those transactions were not done on that particular day.
Exactly.
So how do we measure this? The measuring process of this particular data can only be measured after 6 to 8 weeks, or potentially full on 12 weeks later.
Correct.
I feel that some of the influencers or brokers or whoever you want to call them has zero idea. And this leads on to my next question.
But apologies.
Yes.
It's not about zero idea.
Yeah.
It's like spreading kind of a delusional picture.
Yeah.
And some do it on purpose because they don't want to appear desperate.
Yeah.
But we speak to developers. We are in this business quite for a while, right? And business activity declined significantly.
Yes.
My advice to my clients that work on a regular basis with me for now is to wait because nobody knows, not even Donald Trump, how long this will further on continue.
Exactly.
And that is the important factor.
Exactly.
What is very nice to see, there is no panic selling.
100%.
How many calls have you received from your investors that they want to purchase something?
Purchasing, I've received quite a few.
If you have a crazy deal, Johnny.
Yes. But you know what they're all saying? Oh, Johnny, anything below 20 to 30% below market, give me a call and I'm ready to transact.
Anybody out there, if you have anything significantly below market, reach out. We are investors ourselves.
Exactly. We are looking to buy ourselves. So that's
Exactly.
fantastic.
Exactly.
But no, I don't have a single owner who has called me and said, Johnny, I'm so desperate. I really want to exit this UAE market. Zero. Have you?
Especially in the range, in the mid-tier range below 5 million dirhams, I haven't had any.
Yeah.
What I can see or what I observe is units that have been overpriced anyway. And I don't want to do any name dropping when it comes to developers. For that, you can reach out to us individually and we will discuss it. Units that have been sold overpriced beforehand, before the situation escalated, they are under pressure now even more than before.
Yeah.
But we had below OP, below original price deals, below all of that, while the UAE's real estate market was at its strongest ever, right? So these kind of units that have been overpriced before, that have been on the market below OP, before everything that happened, they are struggling even more today.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right? But certain developers, especially to point out the governmental ones, do you see any distress there? Do you see any pressure there on the market? So far, we are like now almost 2 weeks in this situation. Nothing.
Absolutely. And I think there's a key point we need to let the viewers know. There are distressed deals on the market, but not because of this current situation.
Exactly.
Because brokers who lied, and I'm going to use the word lied. I know it's really, really strong for me to use this, but they lied to you. They lied to you to say, buy today and I'll flip it in 6 months. And what happens? They have to keep up with the payment. Nothing gets sold.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, handover is due in the next 6 months. They don't have the 70% to put down, or they don't have the 50% payments to put down.
Exactly. And they can't mortgage.
They can't mortgage. Exactly. So therefore, buyers need to exit at that point. So therefore, they call it so-called distress. But there is no real distress deal that I have come across. And I'm sure a lot of the senior brokers, and honestly speaking, there's only probably 5% of that market in the UAE, can actually state that they have some serious distress deals right now in this current situation. So now let's swiftly leading on to some of the other questions that we have from some of our viewers on our social media platform. They've asked us some questions. What is actually happening in the Dubai real estate market right now in terms of transaction value?
Yeah.
Payment. What do you think is going on at the moment?
I go back and forth with developers, and that is actually the best way to get real data.
Yeah.
So to understand what's really happening. Of course, we have the numbers in our company and we can see them declining for now.
Yes.
Right? But on the other hand, I don't recommend my investors to make a move at this very moment.
Yes.
I highly recommend them to be ready, have the dry powder ready, and sit back and observe the market.
Don't panic sell.
Absolutely not.
Do not panic sell, guys. Panic sell causes a massive issue, not just in the market, but also financially for your back pocket. So just hold tight. Remember, you have bought an off-plan project for the longevity. It wasn't for situations like
Exactly. None of our clients did we recommend a quick flip.
No.
When it was not possible.
Exactly. So that really talks about the fundamentals of off-plan. Now, let's talk about the rental market, because that's a very large market, even till today. So at the moment, there is a lot of short-term holiday homes, Airbnbs currently on the market, which...
Well, especially here in Marina.
Marina, JVC, downtown. We have seen a massive reduction on the market there. And I'm speaking to one of the largest companies in the Airbnb sector, and they're all saying it's very slow. Nearly 40 to 50% they've reduced.
How couldn't it be?
Of
It was
course.
like the flight capacity is at 30, 35%.
Yeah.
Right? The tourist sentiment. I mean, which tourist would be like, oh, no, let's make
Come to
holidays in
Dubai.
Dubai.
Exactly.
Right now,
Exactly.
right? People are unfortunately happy to get out of the city, right? I see airplanes, because I also talk with pilot friends of mine. They fly out with 480, 490 people in an A380 and come back with 100 people. This is unfortunately the situation right now, but it's just common sense.
Of course.
Right? So again, it all depends on how long this will last.
Yeah.
I can't emphasize more. Because also, let's not forget, if we hopefully get a friendly regime in Iran for the future, that will change the situation in the whole Middle East.
Totally agree.
Right? But yes, this is the direct impact that we see, that Airbnbs cut prices by 50, 60, sometimes even more percent in the past week.
Exactly. So the long-term rental market is still moving. You can check this on DXB Interact, whereby you can see a rental contract that is registered as an Injari live.
Yep.
So those datas are live, not like the contracts of a sale or an off-plan process.
Correct.
So just bear that in mind. If you feel the need to rent, we have a marvelous rental department that covers from the prime sectors of JVC, Marina, Downtown, Dubai Land, Dubai South, Expo City, etc., etc. So we can certainly give you the right advice. We will never overpromise. So that's the one point.
And I see tenants getting some more flexibility when it comes to number of
checks. Yes, exactly.
And there is a pressure on the market. Let's not sugarcoat that. Yeah,
of course. So I think it's about educating our clients,
100%.
educating our buyers, 100%. Tenants, landlords, and just giving them that comfort zone. So the moment you give the right advice, they feel somewhat reassured. Because remember, this is a very much of a sentimental market at the moment. So giving that reassurance is what is really, really required.
But I see the market changing to the positive, because also let's not forget, I emphasize that a lot. We have around 33,000 registered agents in Dubai with ARERA license. But then probably there is double that number without ARERA.
Yeah.
Right? So making it a total of around 100,000 agents in the city. And just that we have around 14,000 taxi drivers. So just to see the relation there. Last year, around 200,000 deals have been done. Yeah. Means on average, every agent last year made around 2 deals.
Yeah.
On average. I know agents that made 50 deals. So you can just imagine what huge percentage in the market didn't actually generate income.
Yes.
And also for you to know, usually the agent job at a real estate agency is non-salaried.
Exactly.
Right? So where does that bring us, especially for this year?
Exactly. So, at the end of the day, what we see is this 100,000 brokers that have flooded the market. When the market is at this peak, you can sell anything. We're finding a lot of companies at the moment. In fact, in the last 24 hours, true story, the last 24 hours, and we spoke about this in the car yesterday, I had 3 phone calls, you witnessed one of them, stating that they want to sell the business to us, which is fantastic because we are in a fortunate position that we can buy businesses. So question for you, Payman, is, are real estate brokerages going to still stay open?
Well, we have, I don't know the last numbers, like 6,000 to 7,000 agencies in the UAE.
Correction, it was over 9,000 registered through the trade license portal.
Done. So even 9,000.
Yeah.
So look at that. Is that a healthy number? I'm not too sure. Is it good to have a cleanup and have the successful agencies, the successful, knowledgeable agents take over? Because they will last in the long term.
Exactly.
In the short term, it was like quick deal. You tell your client, hey, you can flip in 12 months. The client can't flip. You lose that client. That client won't work with you again.
Exactly.
Right? We both agree on that.
Exactly.
So in that sense, I see an increase in consultation quality for the near future.
Oh, yeah, agree. And for the viewers out there, if your current broker or brokerage has not replied to your messages or hasn't responded, feel free to, drop us a quick message on Instagram or even Facebook or even our direct email. We will put our details in the caption below where you can contact Payman or I directly via email or even WhatsApp or a quick phone call and ask your concerns. And we will give you the actual answers. And if we can't give you the actual answers, we will find those answers for you.
We will use ChatGPT.
Or ChatGPT, exactly. So we will get those answers for you and actually guide you through the process rather than forcing you to sell an asset that may not need to be sold right now.
Depends on your personal circumstances, right?
Exactly.
So we can't judge that just by not knowing the details.
Exactly.
So we need more context.
Exactly. So spoke about the brokerages, history of brokerage, clean up on the real estate market, which I'm so excited about because it's going to make our lives a lot more easier. And let's be honest, we don't really have the greatest reputations, do we?
In general, globally, but Dubai has its special place, yes.
In the UK, the most hated people were parking attendants. I think everybody will agree to this.
Okay.
And in the UAE, it's the real estate market brokers. So, I'm glad that we can start to turn the surface around and really make a difference to those who really need our advice. What some of the questions I've got here is what smart investors are doing right now. What are they doing right now?
Well, of course, the smart investors, they have cash ready. Cash is king.
Yep.
In case, we see some great opportunities, but then also what defines a great opportunity? I mean, we have to see how because I mean, prices are correlated to the rentals, right?
Yes.
Because in the end, it's about yield and making money. So we have to see how that will develop in the future.
Exactly.
Again, it all comes down, I'm saying it for the third time now, how long this will last.
Exactly. So if you're a smart investor, our advice is to just sit tight for a couple of weeks.
If you have the possibility.
If you have the possibility, absolutely. To sit tight and continuously assess the market. And those who are overseas, you really need to get in touch with a qualified, knowledgeable individual who has actually invested their own hard-earned money in the UAE market and are seeing what's actually happening. So I think that's really, really important. Don't just buy for the sake of buying. Just because something is below OP doesn't actually mean you're going to make money regardless. Because as we know, some developers, which we won't name names, really sold units at a price that I couldn't even see if I can even resell it to an end user. So it really doesn't make sense. The dirham per square foot in some of the projects.
The layouts. I mean, there's way more to it.
Exactly. You know, there's a project which we can't name names. 30% of the floor plan was a balcony.
Yeah.
So does it make sense for our investors or for our investors to buy those units, even if it's below OP? Absolutely not.
Because you can't exit that product on a profit.
Exactly.
Even without this situation.
Exactly.
So you were doomed to lose money even before that. Yeah. Imagine now.
Exactly. So it's really, really important for you guys listening to this. Just because there's a what we call an OP price sale, original price sale, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to make any money. So be mindful on that. A few more questions, Payman, for you. Yeah. How investors should choose the right broker?
Look at their background. You know, where do they come from? How long do they live in the city? Have they had any cycles beforehand, or did they just arrive here 6 months ago?
Yeah.
Right. But also, well, I'm not gonna say that it's a bad thing if somebody's in the market 6 months, because if they have been trained by me, probably they do quite well.
Yes.
Right. Because we have a huge focus on daily training.
Absolutely.
So that's what it comes down to. You know, if somebody has seen this city grow, of course, that's the first step in choosing the right partner.
Absolutely.
Right. And then I also see it as being more of a holistic approach, because when I advise my clients, it's not only, hey, put all your eggs in one basket, which would be then Dubai or Abu Dhabi real estate, because these are the areas I focus on. It's also like, hey, what percentage do you hold in stocks? What percentage do you hold in gold? What other assets do you have? Do you hold crypto? You know, how is your whole portfolio divided?
Yes.
Does your agent, and especially in the off-plan field, have the capability to talk you through that as well? Or is it just like, hey, this is a beautiful brochure and in 12 months you're gonna make 50% on equity? Yeah. You know, it's like there's way more to that. Yeah. Is the person you're working with able to provide that or not?
That's a very, very valid point what you mentioned, and that's a key part of investment. Investment doesn't really rely on just property, like you said. You know, we've got commodities.
We see that especially now, right?
Exactly.
If you also had gold in your portfolio, you would have done quite well.
Exactly. So, you know, my advice to choose the right broker or brokerage is to make sure that you understand, you ask the relevant questions, put them into a test, you know, find out if they've invested themselves, get some real personal information.
If they have the capability to invest. I mean, not everybody can afford
to buy real estate. But in my mindset is, and I say this out quite openly, if you have never invested in your life and you're about to give advice to another investor, it blows my mind. It doesn't make sense. I've got 23-year-olds running up and down Sheikh Zayed Road where they've never even rented in their life, let alone now giving advice on ROIs. Yeah. It's just mind-blowing, this market. And this is why I love it right now, because it is going to change the real estate market for the better.
In the mid-run.
In the mid-run, exactly. So guys, really, really do your own due diligence on that individual. Make sure that they know what they're talking about. Really drill them on the numbers, because all these numbers on transactions are online on DXB portal. There's a property monitor that you can, brokerage can pay for and get you these reports. So ask for these reports and look at what was sold the first time, the second time. You know, just because a developer had sold a unit for 1.3 million and they're selling the upstairs flat for the exact same layout for 1.4 doesn't mean you have increased your value. Your increase in your value comes from who buys that property, whether it's an investor at the end
Or a homeowner.
That's the real numbers. So really dig deeper into this. Final question, the future of Dubai real estate. What do we see?
I'm saying it now for the fourth time.
Yeah.
It all depends how long this situation will continue.
Yes, I know, exactly.
And I was like, is the future, we can get out of this with an amazing outcome. If buyer trust returns, if tourists return, if businesses return to full capacity again, right? Which hopefully happens soon.
You know,
and we're just upgrading our office, right? We're doubling in size.
Quadrupling in size.
Tripling, yeah.
Absolutely. You know, I think in terms of the way the city has gone through every single process, from the COVID times to the flood to now this new situation, you know, there's a lot of pressure on, you know, our rulers of this city, and they are one step ahead of the game. And this is the beauty.
I feel like we can't praise them, because when you praise them, everybody's like surprised in Europe. It's like, yes, because I mean, I'm German, you're British.
Exactly.
We would never put out a positive post about the leaders of the UK or Germany.
100%. But we can here because the resilience that they have is amazing.
Believe like at home that we're getting paid for that or whatever, but that's the reason why we choose Dubai as our home.
Yes. Guys, we don't get paid for this. We run our own business. We're not influencers. We are just pushing out information to you guys.
And we live here by choice.
Absolutely. And the moment we come out of this situation, and I feel we will, and we will come back even more stronger as a city, as a nation, and there will be a lot more happening in the city the moment we come out successful. So guys, really, really think hard. Think about what's happening. Think about the longevity. Think about what the rulers are doing every single day to make the city continuously the safest city in the world. Yes, granted, it's a little bit fearful at the moment, but we will get there. It's just a matter of time. Eventually, we will get there. So don't panic sell, don't stress, stay calm, and think logically. That's my wrap for this little podcast with Payman and I. But if you have any sort of questions, any concerns, our details will be on below, and get in touch with us.
Yeah, get in touch. Luckily, that's also positive. Right now, we have more time than we usually have.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. True.
Johnny, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best.